All right, happy Sunday, everybody. Let me see. I'm just gonna see if I've got this all up and running on Facebook. Huh. Not really sure what happened there. Let's try this again. I've been having internet issues, so we'll see if this is gonna work. Okay, looks like we're up and running. Hi, good evening. This is Tara with Tara Best Stamps. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in mid-Missouri. I'll get this muted. Hey, Karen. Oh, I can't wait to see your card that you were making with this set. So as I said, this is Tara Beth, and we are going to do a fun fold today using the Perched in a Tree stamp set and die. This is, I'm going to be honest, this is a set that I kind of looked by several times, but I had the opportunity to get it free, so I was like, I'll take this one. I like to get those stamp sets that I don't absolutely love, if I get a free set somehow. And then sometimes they end up being some of my favorites, and this is actually, I think, definitely going to be one of those. This was a super fun set, and so here is our fun fold, and it's a Sympathy card. And so it just pops open like that, and there you go. So this is what we're going to work with today. I've made a couple of modifications, but there's the card for today. We're using the Perched in a Tree stamp set and the Aspen tree dies. So the beautiful thing about this die set is even if you're not going to get the card set or the stamp set, the leaves in this set are beautiful. So this is definitely a die set you'll want to keep. I just want to remind everyone that Sale-A-Bration is going on right now. So we've got Sale-A-Bration going on. You're getting that. Hey, Mary, thanks for joining me. Yes, I love this DSP. So the card that we're using today is using the Ringed in Nature or Ringed in Love stamp set, and it matches perfectly with the Ring of Nature bundle that you're getting in the mini catalog. So this has a lot of great papers. It's got some Christmas. It's got just some fall. It's got a beautiful medallion that I think is gorgeous. Hey, Mary or Amy, thanks for joining me. So that's what you can get with Sale-A-Bration. And don't forget, you can also, if you love planners, this is another awesome thing that you can grab by joining my team. Give me a shout out if that's something that might interest you. I'd love for you to join and enjoy all the fun. So here we go. I'm going to get started with today's card. So first thing we're going to do is, let's see here. Let's do the bird first. So I'm going to take a StazOn ink pad, and I have just a black StazOn ink pad that I am going to ink up and stamp on just a piece of basic white. You can use shimmer, you can use the very vanilla, or you can use watercolor, because that's basically what we're going to do is we're going to watercolor this. So I'm going to give it a little wave here because I kind of want to cool it or dry it off a little bit before we get started. So what I have is I have a range of colors that I'm going to use. And so basically what I did when I was doing this is I just took the cards, the DSP from that Ring of Love, and used those colors to the best that I could pick out. So I chose a little bit of Evening Evergreen, Crushed Curry for that belly, and then Night of Navy. And the nice thing about Night of Navy, hey Karen, thanks for joining. The Night of Navy can be used in a lighter and then darker, just depending on how you're going to do it. So what you're going to do is you're going to squeeze your ink pad a little bit. Pop it open, and you're going to have a pool of ink there. So as I said, I'm going to start with the crushed curry. I'm going to brush a little bit of that off, because sometimes when you first squeeze that little bit of water in there, you're going to get a really dark color. So we woke up to rain here today. I don't know how everybody else's weather's been, but it's been hot, hot, hot here. And today was, kind of a change. I haven't been outside too much, but I'm sure when I go, I'll have to put my hair in a ponytail because it will be ginormous. All right, so there's that yellow belly that we've got. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing with that Evening Evergreen. I'm going to brush off any of that yellow ink that we have and start off with the head. Tim and I are playing Empty Nesters this weekend. Baby boy is in Fargo, North Dakota. Rosie sometimes pops in on Sunday night, so I was going to tell her to give him a shout out because I feel like he's not too far from her. All right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add just a little bit darker. Now that it's dried a little bit, I'm going to add just a little bit darker to give a little more color here. So this is watercolor month. Who knew there was a thing, but apparently there is. All right, so I'm probably not going to close that down. Dry run for retirement. I think we're a little far away from that, Mary. That would be nice, but I don't think we're going to get that lucky to be retiring this young. Things to plan for, though. All right, so as you see, as my brush kind of dries off and I use some of that ink, it makes that color just much lighter. So then what I do is I take just that light bit and I run it together because I don't want it to have just a really straight line. I want it to kind of blend a little bit. All right, and then I'm going to add a little bit of soft suede just to kind of dingy it up a little bit and make that yellow not so bright. Ooh, I'm not sure I love that. There we go. All right, so there is our bird that we're going to use. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to clean off this brush a little bit. There we go. Put it away. I'm going to take a piece of crushed crumb cake, and burnish it with my thumb because my bone folder has disappeared. Okay. Oh, everything is flying today. Okay, so I'm going to bring out, thanks, Mary, I'm glad you like it. All right, thanks, Brenda, I'm glad you like it. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take my ruler, and what I have done is hey, Angie, thanks for joining me. I have already scored it at 1 inch from this side. So this is a sheet of, you see here, 4 by 5 1/4, and I scored it at 1 inch to the right. So the next thing I'm going to do is hold my breath and hope that I can do this on camera and do it a third time. Okay, I'm going to mark it at 1 3/4 at the top and at the bottom. Then I'm going to turn it on the long side and I'm going to mark 2 inches from the bottom just with my pencil. Okay, so those are going to be the areas to go ahead and cut. All right, so I've got that mark right there, and I'm going to put that in the track, and then I have a mark right here for the track. And I always cut down when I'm doing this. Don't ask me why, it just works better for me. Okay, now I'm going to put that corner in there. And there's that tick mark that I had up at the top. I'm going to move my blade up at the top so I can cut it again. And believe it or not, I think that worked. Yay! Okay, so then I'm just going to fold that in. And it will be ready to go on the crumb cake. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere this to the back side of the crumb cake so that it'll fold, the fold will go inside. See, it kind of looks like an envelope, really. A mismatched envelope at that. Okay, oh, there it is. I'm gonna take some seal, and I'm using seal because it works a little better for these fun folds. So I'm going to go ahead and place my card in there and fold that down and seal it. Okay, so there's going to be my opening. So this is ready to go on a Night of Navy. It's not a card base. This is just a panel of 5.5 by 4 1/4. So just your standard card base without the fold. Okay, we're going to add some more seal there. And we are going to add it to the card. Okay, make sure I have a good spot for it before I burnish it down. Okay. Let's go ahead and do our sentiment, and then we'll be able to add our stuff. So let heaven and nature sing. Just gonna pop that up at the top. And now I know where I want to put all of my pieces. Before I do that, I'm gonna clean off some of these crumbs. See, I made an extra just in case I goofed that one up. I was prepared this time, just in case. I'm gonna bring out my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss and cut my bird. So I'm gonna line him up. Yeah, he's kind of dry. Here we go. Line that up. And because I don't want that messed up, I'm gonna grab a piece of tape and just make sure it doesn't slide. Sometimes when I put the top plates on, they do a little dance. Okay, I'm rolling that right on through. I have another version of this card. I'm using a lot of the same stuff that's gonna go on Instagram tomorrow. So if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that. If not, I'd love for you to give it a whirl. It's a cute little video. Please don't tear, please don't tear, please don't tear. Yay! You just gotta hold your tongue just right when you do those things, because sometimes that tape sticks to those wet cards. Okay, so now I'm gonna bring out some die cuts that I've already created. So these are from the Ring of Nature die set, and everyone loved this one from the very beginning, and I was like, oh, not so much. Well, this weekend changed my mind, kind of like the Perched in a Tree set. So what you're going to do is you're going to die cut these and emboss them at the same time, and then you take out the smaller die to create the version that's going to be embedded in there. So that creates your ring. So I'm just going to take a little bit of liquid adhesive and put it in the center of these. And then I'm going to grab some tweezers so I don't get glue all over myself, because I have a tendency to do that. So there we go. There's one. And here's the other. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some Stampin' Dimensionals on the back of these, because this is going to be what holds my guy down, my front flap. Jeez Louise. I've had dimensionals all day long. Oh, here they are. All day long. I've only got about 14 projects going right now. So I'm going to put these right in the center, because I want to give this space so that that flap can go underneath. So let's put one of these right here. And that's just going to barely hold it. See how it's just barely holding it down? And then we'll put the other one just right up there. Now I'm going to take my tweezers, and these are little pieces of scraps of old olive that I cut from the Rings of Nature. I guess it's the Tree Ring set. So I'm just gonna put one there. Angie, I'm glad you like the card. Thanks. I appreciate that. I'll put another one there. And then we'll put one or two up at the top. So on the original, I did do a yellow flower under here. And that's from the Aspen tree die set. The problem that I found is it lies here and it folds up too bad. So I decided not to put that in this card. So live and learn. And not only that, you don't ever want to make two cards of the same. At least I don't. I usually try to change at least something up. All right, so there we go. Now let's see where we want to set that bird. I think I'm going to set him right there. And that's just going to be with some liquid adhesive. Wow, this isn't taking nearly as long as I expected it to. Yesterday when I was putting it together, it took forever. I thought this was going to be like an hour long. Okay, there we go. Now all we have left for the front is some brushed metallic adhesive drops. I think I'm going to go with this lighter gold here. Let's do one there. One there. There we go. All right, so there is our front, all done. So we need to do something for the inside. Maybe cut a piece of white cardstock. I went through this 3 times to make sure I had everything. You can tell that that didn't work out with me. Thanks, Mary. I'm glad you like it. Okay, so this sheet's going to be 3 1/4 on the inside by 4 3/4. And all these dimensions will be on my blog. I've already got it typed up and ready to go. I just need to, I made that a little bit small, but that'll be okay. That'll work. Okay, I'm going to pull out my stamp sets. And I've got some Evening Evergreen and Splatter. And I'll go ahead and grab my envelope while I'm at it. Get 2 for 1 here. I'm going to stamp this off. Just because I want these splatters to be kind of light. Then we're going to close this ink pad. Sonia, thank you so much. I'm glad you like it. Check out my blog tomorrow for the dimensions. And then here's just some Night of Navy that we're going to add in. And then we're going to end up with another beautiful sentiment. Here it is. So this is wishing you an abundance of peace and joy. No, I don't like that one to go with that one. What did I put on the other one? Yep, that's what I used the last time. Well, yeah, we'll use it. I think I'm going to use Night of Navy for this. Use a little bit of liquid adhesive. So you'll see that on my cards I use all sorts of adhesives. I just use whatever I have available at the time, whatever's closest. I am using Seal a little more often and starting to really like it. Okay, so that will pop in there. And so there is your fun fold. It just pops right on out. Using up some of this gorgeous free DSP that's so lovely. Let's add some final bits to the back of the card or the envelope. Okay. Amy, thank you. I'm glad you like it. Thanks, Karen. Okay, a quick snip and we will be out of here. Right at 20 minutes. That's not terrible. I was afraid this card would take a long time. Okay, here we go. So there's card number 2, card number 1. You will notice a difference. I didn't even mention it. I used the basic white on this one. I had done the very vanilla, but I decided the white looked a little more appropriate. So this will be on my blog tomorrow. Don't hesitate to pop by. Send me a message if you've got any questions. Thanks so much for joining me on another Sunday night tutorial. I will see you next week. I'm sure I will be exhausted, but we'll talk about that next week. Have a great one. Bye.